Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is your old pal Chuck, and I am very excited and very happy to bring to you, straight from Amazon, Germany, Deutschland über alles. Hopefully, didn't say anything too offensive. This is Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Bumblebee, or B-127. As I just said, I got this from Amazon Germany. Much like Amazon Japan, if you live in the United States, you can order from Amazon Germany and it will be shipped to you. I was supposed to get this on Wednesday. It is actually Monday, July 8th. So, yeah, I am happy. I am excited. This is a cool figure. To be honest, if you remember the Cybertron scene with from the Bumblebee movie, this is kind of based on that look, but it's a lot easier to transform and a lot less clear plastic. It's not a perfect figure. We'll talk about that, but I gotta say, it is a lot of fun to have, and I'm looking forward to bringing more uh, Transformer One figures to you. I do have one other, and I believe these are actually called Prime Changers. So the deluxe class is called Prime Changers in the Transformers One line. That's actually pretty good. It's better than Core Class, which was called in Rise of the Beast. So we're starting out in vehicle mode. Now I love how they did the wheels here, that they're these solid pieces of yellow pinned in, so this rolls very nicely. Bumblebee's weapons do store on the top here, and there are two. You get, I could just the blaster, and they do peg together very nicely, and the sword. Now, let me just tell you right off the bat, if you look, that's how the sword looks when you get it out of the packaging. So if you're holding it flat like that, the blade is sticking up. I thought it was warped, but it wasn't. This is all one piece painted. You can plug it together. It can also be wielded by Bumblebee separately, and there's even storage in robot mode, which we'll get to in just a second. Now, there's one other piece that came separate, and we'll have to get to that in robot mode just for this, uh, the ease of the review. Now, to start the transformation, yeah, we're jumping right into it. What you want is you want to come to this middle section right here and pop this up. Now, when you're going to vehicle mode, you're going to bring this down, and there are some slots and tabs that go into the leg there. One thing you want to make sure is that these tail sections, which are the feet, do angle outward slightly, and that's how you get that sloped look. So that's really kind of cool. So just make sure you do that. But we're going to bring this up, bring it all the way over on a double hinge. It'll peg, this section will peg into that gray section, and then this will come in and just press down just like so. Now, the first bit of an issue that I have has to do with the next step, and it's the legs. Now, we're going to do this side first, give it a little wiggle jiggle, and the legs will unpeg. Now, when going into vehicle mode, what ends up happening is there's a tab right there on the inside that will peg into the upper slot on the hip, and a little hole here that will go into a little guide post right there. But the big connection is the tab and slot. And when you're going from vehicle mode to robot mode, there's a tab right there that goes into a slot on the inside of the leg. Now, my issue is on this leg, wiggle, jiggle, wiggle, jiggle. It didn't do it this time. Okay, it'll sometimes pop off at the ball joint at the hip, but it didn't do that. Very tight connection. I'd rather it be tight than loose because that could make it very difficult to transform. Next, what you want to do is flip the feet down, but kind of soft tap into place. Or you can wait a little bit longer. I'm just doing that just to for my own comfort and ease of grabbing the figure. Next, what you want to do is unpeg the arms. They connect here by the hand. And then on a double hinge, you're going to accordion the arm joints out. They'll sit back like this, and then rotate them at the elbow all the way out around until they're, facing the right way. You know how elbows and arms are supposed to look. There is that little bit of an inner joint right here that'll help with the transformation and also some posing and what have you. By this point, rotate the waist around. And now this is a part that it's like the next to last step going to vehicle mode. You can actually do this by this point here, and it's just flipping up this section right here. And if you just unpeg what will be the chest, you'll have enough clearance to flip that up. When you're going to vehicle mode, it'll actually peg in, snap into place right there. So going out, just a little wiggle jiggle, and then this will double hinge down and tab right above the waist. Finally, to complete the transformation, you want to open up this back section here. That will reveal the head. You want to flip the head all the way up. It will snap into place on that little panel right there. Rotate it around, and then this will close up and snap into place. If the head seems a little off when you're getting it out of the packaging, make sure it's all pegged and snapped into place properly. And there's Bumblebee in its robot mode. Fantastic. Really like the look of this figure. And if you remember at the beginning, I had mentioned there was one more accessory. Well, if you come in here and right where that little nubbin is, right above the grill, if you just wiggle jiggle, um, it again stays on very tight. You can pop off the chest, and there's its transformation cog. So there's Bumblebee's transformation cog. It's not removable. It's painted in. This does come, all three accessories come separate in the packaging. This is strapped down using clear plastic ties. It is an open front box. There's no window there's no plastic window. The sword and the blaster are just the blaster I think is secured with the plastic ties. The sword is just slid in with friction at the top of the box. So you just pop this on right here. Some tabs, some nubbins. There you go. Mine, like you just saw, it's very secure, so I'm not afraid of it coming off. Now to arm Bumblebee up, the blaster only goes on this arm right here, and it again secure goes on very securely. You can then, if you notice the tabs slots, there is a specific way, and the sword will go on. So obviously now you can see that the blade looks right, if that makes sense. So that definitely, and then we can just pose him up a little here. Boom. This Bumblebee is ready to fight. Not Decepticons. Looks like from the trailers, it's the Quintessons. Everything is a ball joint here, single joint, but a very nice knee bend there. Waist swivel, ball joint at the head, ball joint at the shoulders, hinge at the elbow. You do have that inner joint right there. That's. I wonder if you can actually, if you want, huh, you can do something like that, but that kind of really neuters the arm. But it is there, some cross posing and what have you. So kind of cool. I really have to say that. Obviously, yeah. If you look at the leg, it is kind of hollow on the inside there. I mean, the knees. I mean, this is how the knees are. That's all one piece. So I wonder if there's no, no. I mean, I don't mind it, but I know some people. Oh, that's a deal breaker. Oh, good, it's a worst figure ever. You can also, if you so desire, combine the sword and blaster, as we saw on the in the intro, and it just. So I don't know if this will be like that in the movie with the combined weapon like this, but ultimately you can also, you can just wiggle jiggle, because this, like I said, this really pegs in. Pop that off, and remember that the post here in the back. Boom, there you go, weapon storage, and just for the sake of argument, um, you do have the individual weapon storage. So if you wanted to use the blaster, you can do that. You just wanted to have the sword, uh, take that in right there. But if you're going to have it stored together, you got to peg them together like like so. So really cool, really fun. Um, kind of interested to see how how B is going to really play out in the film. But I do believe that's about it. So we'll pause and we'll come back for my final thoughts. So, like I said, I really like this figure. I do. There are some minor quibbles, but honestly, when I was doing this review, you guys saw the legs didn't pop off at the hip. Um, everything came together nicely. Um, yeah, everything pegs in super tight, and I kind of like that. I will admit, I kind of am a little concerned that I might break a tab on the chest, but how many times am I going to be popping that off? The legs, I'd rather it pop off at the hip than break. So there is that. And by the way, if you ever get stuck, opening up the hip joint, um, unpegging the little plate here when coming from vehicle mode, the sword blade right here really gives you a nice little leverage. So there's a hot tip. And I almost forgot to mention that this arm cannon, that really is like the early prototype of what Bumblebee had in the other films, that the other Transformer films. So since this is meant to be a prequel of sorts, I kind of like that little bit of a touch. Sort of like when we saw the Bumblebee shoes in the Bumblebee movie and then Rise of the Beast, and how it carried on forward from that. But as I said at the beginning, I got this figure from Amazon Germany. It is in stock, ready to ship. Um, Obviously, if you've bought from Amazon Japan, the shipping is going to be a little bit more. They don't offer Prime to international customers, but the actual cost of the figures, when you figure out the rate of exchange, roughly comes out to what you would pay at US retail. So if you want to get them a little early, you can chalk up the shipping to that early tax. Um, but I also just heard that apparently these figures are supposed to release August 1st in the US, and mayors of all places have broken the street date, but they don't have the same figures as Amazon Germany has. Um, I mean, they have Bumblebee, they have Sentinel Prime, and they actually have Alpha Trion. And I think actually no, and I think even saw Prime. So I don't know if Amazon Germany is slow to roll them out, but later on they are going to have shipping towards the end of August the Optimus Prime mask and those little transforming Battler figures. So I'm excited for Transformers One. It's actually I'm excited that it's coming at the end of summer, beginning of the fall, when kids are going back to school. That's a great time for a movie like this to come out. Give kids something to talk about on the playground and to be excited for. I mean, when we came back to school, we were talking about the death of Optimus Prime and the depression of the beginning of season 3 with Rodimus. So yeah. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the algorithms. I have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/truckdog1999. $1 a month, $12 a year. Can't swing it, not a problem. Your views are more than thanks enough. To any new viewers who are coming on, because I have this figure and I'm starting to, and I'm probably going to be one of the first, if not the first guys to review it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. It really, again, it's very important to the algorithms, and there's always that chance you might miss something. But yeah, once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Transformers 1 Prime Changers Bumblebee, otherwise known as B-127. We will see you next time.